Now then brewers, bit of a different video this one, it's a product review. It's before I've brewed with it, but it's just sort of a bit of a, sort of an out of the box review. And I'm just hoping that if anybody stumbles across this video, it might help them out if they've got a similar system. So I'm going to go and enjoy this lovely sunshine we've got with a nice cold beer, and here's a bit of a review. Have a good one. So this is my all-in-one brewing system. It is the Brewster Beacon by Brewvolution. All-in-one system. I think I've had this about 5 years, and I was kindly sold it by a great brewer, a chap called Andy over in Halifax in West Yorkshire, on the forum, on the brewing forum. He got me into it because they're expensive, you know, the all-in-one brewing systems, and I wanted to know if I was going to really enjoy it or not. So I don't know how many years it's out. I suspect several that it's been on the market, and you'll see it a lot in my videos. So what is it? Obviously, it's 40 litre unit. It's got this lid. You'll notice, which will make sense a little bit later on, how the hole for the pipework is to the side of the lid. Inside of it is the top plate. There is the mashing system. I just lift it up onto a level. It's always tricky to do this one-handed. But as you see, that's the system in detail. And what I think is fantastic about this is that when Andy sold me this system, he warned me, and if I just lift this out just 2 seconds, he warned me about a design flaw. And the design flaw was quite a simple one. There we go. If you look right at the bottom there, you can see the drain hole. And he did say at the time, he says, this blocks constantly when you're doing a lot of your brewing systems. And he actually put a false bottom. But a few years later, and I love this, the manufacturer brought out this, a filter. And the filter, simply, if it zooms in, it just pushes straight into that, like so. I've never had it blocked since that's got in. Just a brilliant system and an idea. It stays just about clear of the bottom of the malt pipe. There is a large dead space in this unit, and that was the first design that I ever saw. And it was at the point where it annoyed me because I had a couple of brew days. It got blocked, that came out, never had it since. And then the other factor I just want to draw you all to here is sight glass. I love a sight glass on the side of a unit, but herein lies the problem. The problem is with sight glasses, they're an absolute nightmare to clean. So if you imagine when I put my Easy Brew through this system and it's lovely and shiny and clean inside, the same can't be said for this, and it's a nightmare to clean. So let's have a quick look to see what the upgrade kit provides. And here it is, the upgrade kit. I understand that this doesn't just do the Brewster Beacon 40, I think it does the Brew Devil, the Clarkston. So it's obviously the manufacturer makes similar units under different names. So have a look if you've got one of those systems, you might be able to benefit from this. Immediately, we can see the lid hole is now in dead centre. And the reason probably that it's not on the other system is because the older system, if we shoot across, has this central overflow malt pipe right in the middle. It's fine. Modern systems don't have them anymore because you do bash into them as you're going in. But that sits in the centre. That doesn't. And that brings us to the next point. It's because the upgrade no longer has an overflow. In fact, if we lift it up, nice and shiny, very shiny, you will notice now that they've actually moved a lot of the points, the holes, the punctuations in the steelwork round the rim. This is not the case on the original system. If I lift this up a second, there you see. Absolutely solid stainless steel. So coming back to it, that's the first change. It's really well made, I have to say this. Compared to the last one, it just feels better quality. I forever, and I'm sure other brewers do the same, cut my hands to shreds when I'm cleaning, because cleaning is probably 90% of all home brewing. I forever do it. And this feels really, really well milled. Everything's been rolled back on the steel. Loads better. So if we just lift this bag of goodies out, and there we have it. No central overflow pipe. Just a pull out for the bottom of the actual mash tun. The goodies. a new, I'm going to call it a mash arm, mash pipe, I don't know what you call it. It's no longer bent, it obviously reaches further out to go into the new lid hole. Some piping, brilliant. You've got the CIP unit that sits in there, so that's the clean in place system. I've actually sort of makeshifted mine, but because it's at an angle, if you imagine in the current hole in the actual lid, it just fires everywhere. It doesn't oscillate, it doesn't spin properly. You've now got this for mashing, the distribution point, which you can lower up and down. At the minute, all I do is, if you can imagine from this, is just lay the pipework on the top of the grain bill for it to be able to go through the mash cycle. I can't wait to try this. This has been an interesting one. See what benefits you have. Handles for the lid, always handy. And this is the bit I'm looking forward to. So this here, now, and how clever is that? It's just engineered. So that piece there fits, if we spin straight round, see if it'll get zoom, and we can get rid of this little bit of insulation, electrical insulation tape and a black rubber top. This fits directly into here, so you can actually pump through the clean in place system and clean the sight glass. And that's what we're going to have a look at doing today. Just getting this unit prepped and getting used to it. But all in all, I'm really looking forward to a brew day with this, just for these design changes. And we're off. I've just shortened the silicon so you can get a perfect spin on the CIP, which is coming up to temperature now, and it's this that I'm interested in, and we'll give that a go next. Look at that go. Absolutely flying through. What a brilliant idea. Let's see if it cleans up. And this is after 1.5 hours. Look at that. My only complaint is these little clips here, these little things. They give you 2 in the pack, they weep, you need 4. They must be cheap as chips, just put a couple more in the kit. If you look very, very closely, that is all of the muck that has come out of the brewing system using Easy Brew 10, something along those lines. The best in the market for my money, but yeah, very happy. So we're out of the wind and we're back in the brew house, and look, it looks absolutely spot on. Come up really, really nice, to be fair. Obviously this is just a wipe on the outside of it. It's back now with the rest of my kit that I keep in here for brew days and light depending, so apologies. It looks brand new. It really, really does. Obviously I could do that before. Of course I could, through the hole. I'd made shifted something. But what I couldn't do, or well I could but with great difficulty, just a bit of condensation in from where it was cleaning. But look at how clean that is. It's come up. There's nothing in it at all. Absolutely nothing. Brilliant is that. I'm just going to leave the top off and let it just naturally dry out with nothing on the top. So all in all, from a cleaning perspective and getting rid of that central malt pipe, that's a pretty good upgrade for a piece of kit that is probably 6, maybe 7 years old.